So I'm just out here watching the sunset and the surfers, and I can't stop thinking about this interview I did last week with Corey Allen, Dr. Corey Allen. He's the host of the podcast Sexy Marriage Radio. He is a marriage and family therapist and a sex therapist, and he's a brilliant guy. And we were having a conversation in the Epic Marriage Club about how to have awesome marriages and specifically how to gauge whether or not you're being a good partner. And Dr. Allen asked me this question, and it's a question that I'd heard before, but when he asked it to me, it hit me different than the way it had in the past. And the question that he asked was, would you want to marry you? And I started to think about that. And in my best moments, absolutely, I would want to marry me. But there are so many moments where I'm not at my best. And I started to think about what I do when I'm not at my best, when I feel hurt, when I feel disrespected, when I feel taken advantage of, when I feel like our relationship is unfair. What often happens is I show up as my worst self. I'm selfish. I pout. Sometimes I say things that are hurtful to my wife. And it just dawned on me as I was thinking about this, how ironic it is that when our relationship isn't going the way that we want it to, specifically when my marriage isn't panning out the way I want it to, that my response is to act in such a way that it makes things worse. Why do we do this? For example, if you want to have sex with your partner and you get shot down, and then you pout and sulk and pretend like it's the end of the world and your partner has done something terrible to you, and you act in this really immature way, nobody's attracted to that person. Nobody wants to be married to somebody who pouts all the time when they don't get their way. And we know this because you are not attracted to that. And yet, in all likelihood, when you don't get your way, sometimes you pout and you behave like a petulant little child. And it doesn't make you more attractive, and it doesn't make your relationship any stronger. It just does damage. And yet it's in response to feeling like your relationship isn't what you want it to be. Maybe your partner's not speaking your love language. Maybe they're not giving you enough compliments or planning enough dates. Maybe you don't feel like the chores have been divided fairly amongst the two of you, the household chores, and you're feeling a little bit alone and left in the dark. It doesn't really matter what it is that you're upset about or what you want to be different or what your vision of a better future is for your marriage. What matters is what you're doing making that better version of your marriage possible, or is it just creating even more divide? I would say one of the most important skills that we need to work on as individuals, if we want to have a really great relationship, a fulfilling marriage, something that lasts, that gets better over time, is we need to work on showing up as our best selves in the midst of our worst moments. Think about what that would look like. Think about what it would look like for your partner to tell you, no, I'm not interested in having sex. And for you to react like a mature adult and say, hey, thanks for being honest with me. I appreciate that. That sucks because I really wanted to have sex with you, but maybe we could do it tomorrow. And then you just don't hold it against them. You don't laud it over their heads. You don't pout. You don't sulk. Think about the difference that it would make if you wanted to go on a date night and your partner doesn't plan the ideal date night and you just appreciated them for the effort, even though maybe you didn't get exactly what you wanted. Think about any time where you feel upset or hurt or stabbed in the back or like you're not getting what you want out of the relationship. What would it look like for you to respond from a place of your very best self? And think about the opportunities for connection that would create for you and for your partner in the times when you might be prone to the most disconnection. How can you turn moments of pain into moments of unity? How can you turn moments of disconnect into moments of connection? How can you turn moments of frustration into moments of love? How can you turn moments of distrust into opportunities to build trust? The more I think about it, the more I realize that the moments when we're tempted to be at our worst might be the moments that matter the most in our relationships. And so I wanted to extend that invitation to you today. I wanted you to think about the moments when you're at your worst. And if you're not showing up as your best, what are you going to do about it? What changes are you going to make? How are you going to show up differently? What could you do to prevent yourself from allowing your most immature, base, thoughtless, and unkind versions of yourself to come out? These questions matter. These moments matter. They define who you are as a partner. And ultimately, they might define whether or not your relationship succeeds or fails. If you need help finding a new way to show up, accessing the very best in yourself, let me know. This is what I do. Come check out the Epic Marriage Club. You can try it out for free for 7 days. And I can even recommend some specific activities and exercises in the Epic Marriage Club that can help you with this. As for me, I'm going to spend some time reflecting over this next week about how I can show up as my best self in the moments where I'm tempted to show up as my worst. I hope you can do the same.